City Distilling, and they got some awesome vodka. I'm hearing it's better than Tito's. So here we go.
That's why the trivia questions are hard.
Oh, okay. All right. Like what was Tommy's number?
Yeah. Well, you said I had to make them easier. So.
All right. Well, let's start with a trivia question, then we'll dig in.
All right. So on May 23rd, 1991, Tommy Greene threw a no-hitter. Which team did he throw the no-hitter against?
All right, I got someone. Hold on.
Montreal.
Very good.
Nice. Very nice.
Johnny, you're off to a good start.
We are. See that?
We got a winner.
See that?
We got a winner. So
Winner chicken dinner.
there you go.
City Vodka. Here we go. Nah, yeah.
All right. So if you guys are eating and drinking, it's Sam and Natalie back there at the bar. So take care of those gals if you haven't already. We got drink specials. See Sue Henderson over there, also known as Mrs. Henderson. Hey, Bill Mattis. Thanks for checking in.
Bill.
There you go. Another legend in the house. Check with her. You get 2 free raffle tickets. We got a whole table full of good stuff over there. So if you were interested in buying more, they're only $1. So there's some good food, drink specials, and raffles. And if you stick around till 7:30, you can grab a free T-shirt.
There you go.
So on with the show, Johnny.
Yeah. So Tommy, what do you think of the new rules with the pitching with the spider tag?
With the
Spider tactic, being
like I looked at you like I didn't know what you're talking about, and I really don't know what you're talking about because I didn't know what that stuff was. I've been asked that question a few times, and if you read the rule books, you're not supposed to have none of that stuff anyway.
Right.
So, and that's just my theory. I never use stuff like that. I didn't even use rosin. And the reason being that when I come into minor league ball, anytime a pitcher went to the rosin bag, it seemed like the games I played, they were in trouble. They backed off the mound, they were back there, they were in trouble. So when I went on the mound, if the rosin bag was on the dirt, I kicked it off the mound and onto the grass. I called it the thing in the bag. I didn't want it crawling up the back of my leg into my arm. I wanted to know where it was going. So I used the dirt a little bit, the dirt and the sweat, to get a little feel. So, but the baseball does get slick. If you get a Major League Baseball, they pre-rub them, so to speak. But to me, a lot of times they're real slick, and they don't have raised seams. They're really tight. And if I asked a Major League hitter, I would think he would want the pitcher to have some kind of feel to that ball to know where it was going, because those guys throw so hard. Not that we didn't throw hard now.
Right.
And you want to know where that ball is going. If it gets away from and that's the big thing, and that's a huge thing is that. But batters get to use pine tar on the bats and stuff like that. And but I still go back to the rule book. It's in the rules that you're not supposed to have foreign substances and everything on the ball. And I was like, that's my view on it. You're not supposed to have it. You don't need it.
Yeah. Bryce Harper got the ball in the face earlier this year.
Yeah.
And that's even with them possibly using it.
Yeah. It's going to happen no matter what. It's like now they're able to go to the mouth on the mound. We used not be able to do that. You had to be on the dirt. You had to be on the grass. The only time we were allowed to go to our mouth or blow in our hands was when it was cold, because the ball felt like you were throwing a cue ball. It was slick, and it gave us a little bit of feel. To get some more. So that's a little bit of my view. I don't think it. I didn't ever use it. I've seen guys use stuff, but I didn't ever use it. So I'm a big advocate of the rules of the game.
Do you think it's more psychological for the pitcher themselves to?
It could be. But still, it does add tact. mean, if you can get a good grip on the ball, the better you can spin it,
Right.
create spin. And people they're caught up in the numbers of velocity. I mean, you can make the breaking ball maybe break a little bit tighter or whatever, but, I did okay and didn't use it,
Right.
So that's the way I look at it. I mean, I don't think they should use it as a crutch,
Exactly.
so that's just me. But
Anybody out there like to join in on this conversation? Feel free. We got Lauren's got a microphone, and it's open mic. So we'll. Got a quiet crew so far. They're busy eating.
Yeah.
They're busy. For a minute, I thought that was Sam raising her hand, but it was a beer.
might need to bring a tap closer up here to get everybody going.
Exactly.
Turn it into a party.
So how was it in '93 when you guys went to the National League Championship facing your old team?
Speaking of a party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
93 guys.
Speaking of too many parties, I mean, as far as going to the World Series or going.
Well, facing the Braves, your former,
my former team.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like sweet. That was like icing on the cake
Right.
for me. Even though I got beat around the second game a little bit, I got another shot pitching it against them Game 6, and to get that shot and then to be able to, and us win to clinch. That was.
Right.
Couldn't ask for any better. I had a lot of good friends over there. A lot of, I pitched for Bobby. Liam was one of my good friends throughout my pitching coach, but good friends throughout while I was there. And, and a lot of the guys on the team, I come up through the minor leagues with. So, good competition. Getting traded over just gave me a little fuel for the fire a little bit to help me grow up and understand how to use it.
Right.
And that was the maturation process I needed to go through.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Pavetta just went through it with, over the weekend.
Somebody needs to jerk him up by his neck,
You can say, go ahead.
like John Vukovic did us.
So you guys, yeah.
When you needed to be tightened up a little bit, he was the tightener.
Yeah.
And he had, and you respect him for it because he cared about you. If you didn't, one thing, the guy doing the tighten is usually the guy. He's doing it because he cares about you and loves you. If they don't do anything, if people start not talking to you, there's something wrong. I should tell you, you want people to do that. You want people to let you down, and do that.
It's only to make you better.
Yeah, and we all make mistakes, and hopefully he learns. Hopefully somebody got him. Hopefully somebody on that staff got him, whoever's the leader.
Right.
We had that guy. We had Dutch. We had a bunch of them on that team. But Dutch was one. I mean, the buck stopped there. And
Started and stopped.
Yeah, and but we policed ourselves. So it was a bunch of people. If nothing had gone, we had a good mix of young guys and veteran guys, and the veteran guys had, taught us the game, how to play.
Right.
But we played the game like it was supposed to be played.
Yep.
Put it this way: we played hard on the field, and we played hard off the field, and it was fun, and we made it fun. But when it was time to play on the field, we played the game the right way. When the lights went on, we crossed the white lines. We played the game the right way. We hustled. I think that's why Philadelphia gravitated to that team was a little bit because we did play it the right way, and there was somebody on that team they identified with somebody.
Absolutely.
So
I was a senior or just graduating college that year. That was
you're close to our age. Yeah,
best summer.
close to my age.
Lauren, you got a question out there?
Yes. During your no-hitter, was there a play that stuck out in your mind where you thought that it could have been a hit for you?
It would have been a play that stuck out that I thought it might have been a hit.
Yes.
Okay. No. There wasn't remotely.
Next question.
There wasn't remotely one close really to be fall in. There was no diving plays. The only one that was close, I didn't have to cover first. I don't remember. Maybe I did once, but it was just a routine cover. A bunt that was made. It wasn't, but it was a man with a man on first. It was sort of like he was bunt for. It wasn't a drag bunt, but he was put it down pretty good. To get the guy to second, but it was an out, and it was just maybe 2 ground balls, but they were right at guys,
Yeah.
Like I got in on Ron Hassey once. He hit it off right there off the label of the bat. Good, but it was a one hopper. But Wally Backman, we had him shaded a little bit to pull, and because we were pitching him in. Huh?
You did the shifts back then?
No, I mean, if you're the guy, I mean, his tendency is a pull guy.
Right, exactly.
You know, you might shade him a couple steps over, 2 or 3 steps or more before to the right. You know, like the second baseman will play more in the hole a little bit more, and that's why. But it was like just a one hopped him, you know, close. You know, that was basically in another one that I think the Shields hit. He hit a breaking ball. He stayed on it good, but he hit it to the third baseman. And he actually hit it pretty, but it was right at him. It was like, you know, a 2-hopper, but hit it pretty good. It's off the turf. Anything off that turf is like playing in a hockey rink almost. You know, it scoots off of it. But, so, almost playing off this floor sometimes, that old turf at the vet.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that place was unbelievable.
Laura, you got another question out there?
Yeah, Tommy, in regards to that same no-hitter, what was going through your mind, like in the late innings, you know, knowing you had the no-hitter, and was there any point during that game, like in the late innings, that you knew you were going to get it?
I mean, not that you're going to get it. I recognized that I had something in the 7th inning, but it was a 1-0 game until the 9th. So it was about winning the ball game, and it's not like we were good that year. You know, it was. Yeah, every win mattered, you know, because we had to come back home and face the Philly fans. You know, we need to win. You know, believe me, I've heard my share of boos, but I always tended to pitch good at home, so which was a good thing. But people don't. I mean, I come up through the minor leagues. I tell the story right a good bit. I had 3 no-hitters in the minor leagues: one in A-ball, one in AA, one in AAA. 2 outs, 2 strikes on the last batter, and lost all 3 of them. Give up the base hit. So I've been to that situation, you know, in pro ball, but obviously not the big leagues, that magnitude. But it's all about winning the ball game. That's all that mattered to me. So later in the game, I recognized it in the 7th. I said, "Look, I got to keep going. I got to keep trying to get outs." You know, because I knew as soon as I did give up a hit, I was gone. You know. And because I threw like 135 pitches that game, I think.
That's 2 games for most of these pitchers these days.
Yeah. But I did think of one person because I was with the Braves in the minor leagues when I threw those almost no-hitters, and Leo Mazzoni was my pitching coach each year. And I'm gonna bleep some of this out. After my AAA one, he looked at me and says, "When are you going to finish one of these bleeping things off?" You hear him. He's a Tasmanian devil looking Yosemite Sam guy with a red mustache, you know, look about this tall. Yeah. So when I got 2 outs in the 9th, and I was getting the ball back from the third baseman. And before I walked up the back of the mound, I thought of Leo. I said, "This one's for you, you little red ass." But people believe you. And I mean, I was just thinking that to myself, and I walked up the back of the mound, and there was no way, unless he fouled 2 pitches off, I was going 2 strikes on that guy. I went right down the middle with him. It was Tim Wallach. He hit the ground ball back to 1-hopper back to me. That was probably the hardest hit ball all game. I went right at him. I said, "It's going to end here one way or the other. I'm not going the other way." I've done that 3 times. That ain't happening. So that's the way it ended. So I didn't think I was going to have it. I knew I had a shot, but you hear one pitch, one batter at a time, and that's the way you have to do it. Especially when you're trying to win a ball game. So and when you got a close score like that one swing of the bat changes everything.
Yep.
Lauren, I think you got another question.
Yep, someone on Facebook wants to know how you celebrated the no-hitter after the game.
Oh my, that was fun. Well,
This is PG.
Well, I mean, no, it was all good. Obviously, I was pretty tired, as you go, but it was a getaway day. I had one night where, we were in Montreal. Anybody been to Montreal? How fun is that joint? We had a blast in that place. But I knew I had to pitch the last day, so I was pretty good. But the other guys could do what they want, you know. So we had it's like a 12:05 getaway day. I think we played. It was either 12:05, 12:35 game, and we're nocturnal. You know, we play at night, and most time we're not winding down 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. You know, and then get back up, and I mean we got a 12:35 game, so I mean I got my rest, believe me, but. Shine. What was that question again?
How you partied? It must have been a good
Yeah, it was a good one. Oh, what happened? Okay.
Get him another Guinness, please.
Yeah, please. I do need one. After the game, and here's the thing, I don't think anybody knows, maybe you do or heard about it or not. I get back in the dugout, you know, and I do an interview with Whitey, you know, out on the field. And by the time I get in the clubhouse, you know, people come. As soon as I hit inside the clubhouse, I got drenched with every possible liquid you could probably, cold, you know, beer, everything, you know. Then all of a sudden I get the clubhouse guy, Claude was his name, said, you got a phone call. And then people said, you got a phone call from the prime minister, you know. The prime minister, I thought it was no big. I'd go get on the phone. Here's this French guy talking to me. You know, I didn't know him from Adam. And what had happened, as soon as he gave me the phone, he went around to the other side, and Roger McDowell and those guys that set it up, he went around to the other phone, and I was talking to Claude on the phone in French. You know, he was talking French to me, you know, in broken English and all that stuff. So that's where it started at that night. So I was one of the last ones to. Obviously, after everything, you have to get ready because we're filing on the buses to go to the airport. And they gave me a bottle of champagne. It looked about as tall as that table right there. It was a Magnum and about that big around. And so we took it on the flight, and we chartered flights. We had a charter flight, so we get, you know, pretty much we had what we needed on there. You know, you had everything you wanted to drink. You know, we had food, whatever. So it started there. And then we were flying. We weren't coming back to Philly. We went to Pittsburgh, and that's all I remember. Other than I had about 50 messages on my phone, and I didn't know how they got my room number because we went under different names. So that's the way it goes. Yeah, but no, we had a pretty good plane ride. Passed the champagne, you know, the bottle to everybody. We all had fun and did that. And short plane ride to Pittsburgh. And
so
it was fun.
Didn't make it to Pittsburgh.
What now?
The champagne didn't make it to
Oh
Pittsburgh.
no, that thing was gone. Yeah, well gone. And there was a lot of other festivities, you know, drank besides that because that bottle ain't gonna last for so long with that crew we had. So it was fun. We tended to celebrate pretty much often. So that's one thing that team did. We did this. Right, we did. So after games, after you did your work, what you needed to do, and you talked to the media, and a lot of us will be in the training room, especially Dutch and Crucky guys, are banged up a little bit. Dutch is always with his knees. Crucky had bad knees too, So we're sitting there basically holding their own court, Yeah. And there, we're talking. I mean, at times we had half the team or more in there, and then at least every night. I mean, a lot of the nights we had 8, 9 of us. I mean, we'd stayed. If we ended at a 7:35 game, we ended at 10:30. There was many days we didn't leave at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. We sit there and have. I mean, instead of going out to a bar and driving, we just stayed there and. But putting yourself in the situation. Now, we tended to stay in the clubhouse, talk ball a lot. And then we had 2 kegs in the clubhouse. So we sit there and talk, and I think that's what built. It helped solidify. It started in spring training, but it solidified that crew, that team, that clubhouse atmosphere that we needed. And it was a good one. It was a good one. So.
And that's what's missing today from baseball.
Well, it was family. That's the way it turned out to be. So it was fun.
Johnny, let's trivia time.
All right.
I see everybody on their phones. I don't know if they're following the show on Facebook, This Fan's View, or maybe playing Poker. We got poker fans in the house? Yeah, we do?
All right.
How about a trivia question?
All right. So here's another one from Tom.
Bang them with a hard one.
Hard one this time? All right. Here's one he said that they won't get. So we'll put the pressure to him. So when the Phillies traded for Tommy Greene, who did they trade away?
Good luck on that one.
And two of the three players was Jim Batcher and Victor Rosario. Rosario. See, I'm bad with names. So there's one key member of the trade. Who is the key
main
member?
guy? It was the main guy in the
Right.
trade.
Nobody?
Johnny, I told you this was a hard one.
I know you did, but I had faith in the crowd.
Yeah, but we're giving
Yeah.
away needs.
I mean, yeah,
Right here.
City Vaca is.
I got to answer. I can answer that question.
Come on, you know you're in there
Come
searching.
on,
Come on.
Come on, Phillies fans. Mike
Okay.
Flaherty up there, come
He
on.
wore the same number I wore.
Uh-oh. Dead giveaway.
Come on. There's a bird in there.
And the Braves were really looking for this type of guy because they needed it. Yeah, they really did.
There's a bird in the house. That sounded like a close.
Come on, Amy. Your fingers are moving faster. Let's go. I know you're searching. Come on. Come on.
Sam Wilson, you're disappointing me. You weren't even alive, is that what you said?
It's okay. It's still a big trade.
You're
No.
You're wanting to? How about a hint? You want to give him a hint?
I gave him the bird.
I think here in Philly, I think at the time he was I'm trying to remember. He might have been a setup guy. Yeah.
I think he was actually the closer.
Yeah, he might have, but was he here when Bedrock was here?
First name Jeff. Anybody? Fill in the last name. First name Jeff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
There's a small rule. You can't win twice.
Right.
Just kidding.
No, but it was Jeff Parrott, and the reason why I said the Braves really needed. They were looking sort of like what the Phillies are looking for right now as a closer, and they had that young
closer.
They had that young They had that young pitching staff down there with Glavine and Smoltz starting to build. So they were looking for some to build their bullpen, and they thought Parrott was a good guy. So he was the main guy in that three. It was a 3-for-2 trade. So it was Jeff Parrott.
Don't say the other name from the Phillies.
Okay.
The Phillies got.
Okay.
That's my next question.
Okay. Go ahead and ask it. So it was a 3-for-2 trade, and Blank and me.
Right. So the other question is, who was the other player in the trade that the Phillies got with Tommy?
Big name. Come on, Phillies
Come
fans.
on.
Don't disappoint.
Even Sam.
This
Sam.
is
You should know
Atlanta
this
now.
one.
This is Atlanta.
Dale Murphy.
There you go,
correct.
Sean.
There you go.
That's correct.
Good job.
He could field a team himself. He's got 9 kids.
I didn't think his fingers could move that fast. Get that one on the Wikipedia there.
Oh man, that's some good wings right there.
Oh, yeah. The food here is awesome.
Yeah, I heard.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of food, the food and drink specials here at Dagwoods are phenomenal. The owners, Ed and Nikki, are phenomenal. They left us in charge, actually.
Yes.
They, I don't
that's
know.
a bad play right there.
I don't know why they did that, but this is 2 shows in a row they left us in charge.
We must be doing something right.
Great owners, and we really appreciate them, with the hospitality and extending us to, bring our, this Fans View show here once a month. We'll be back August 18th is our next show. And should we tease it or should we tell them? What's the deal here?
Yeah, we might as well tell them right now. Some people are on their edge of their seats.
Tommy, can you let the fans know who's coming next month?
Well, I was trying to say, Reed, I'm looking at the picture unless I'm looking at the name.
Oh, ask Mr.
Okay, I played with him. Let's see if you can figure this out. I played with him in '93. He played maybe a play that you might remember. He played outfield. and he had 2 stints, I think, with the Phillies.
Yes, you did. He was also a coach.
And he was a coach with the Phillies at one point, and he made a catch in San Diego that saved the ball game over the wall, put it in. It was sort of one of the memorable plays of '93 out there at defense. And I call him Scooter, but y'all might remember him as somebody else. He's an outfielder.
There you go.
That's correct.
There you
There
go,
we go.
Milt Thompson.
Yeah,
That's
Milt
correct. So
Thompson's our guest.
Milt's going to be here. What a guy. Great guy.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a great guy.
I call him Scooter.
We'll have
He
to,
can run.
we have to remember that. Mr. O'Brien, by the way, Milt Thompson will be here August 18th.
Thank you, Mr.
Did you hear that?
So we got another Facebook question.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
They'd like to know your thoughts on in extra innings, a guy starting on second.
That stare tells it all.
Is that good enough?
It was a Facebook question. It
No,
was a
it's-
messenger.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's
I hate it. I hate it. They got an 8-man bullpen, right? You know, so that means they got a 13-man staff. We had 10-man staff. We had 5 starters, 5 relievers. We didn't play that way.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
I don't get it. I mean, they're changing the game is what they are. You know,
Right.
and I don't like it. You know, so.
So going
I
down,
don't like that. You know, that's personal. That's just me. You know,
Why speed
I'm
up
all
the
about
game?
change, but there's some things you should leave alone. You know, and let it be. That's what's so great about it. You got to find a way to do stuff.
Yep.
You got to find a way to get it done.
No time clock on the game.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
And I mean, yeah, they're trying to speed up the game for the fans. Yeah, I get that. But if the fans have got to go home, it's getting too late for them. Go home. Listen to Harry. Listen to L.A. and Fransky on the friggin' radio.
Right.
You know, that's what people grew up listening to them on the radio.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, we want them in the stands. I mean, but you know, but that's not the way the game's played. I mean, it's supposed to be played at least.
Right.
You know?
so let me get this straight. And of always changes.
Not all of them. No, not that one. Starting the man on second base. You know,
There you go.
All right, there you go. We're not starting the man on second base if Tommy's the commissioner
no.
in 2022.
Did the commissioner play baseball?
No.
No.
Okay, there's your sign.
I don't even think he played Little League.
But
We have another
There-
question.
yes,
So Tommy, you talked about change. What, you mentioned you do 135 pitches in your no hitter. So what has changed since the time you pitched and now with the pitchers today?
but no, I mean, they're trying to. What changed was there's a lot of money invested in these guys. I mean, the money, the salary structure changed, and it's the sign of the times. Inflation, you know, and we fought for the right as a union for these guys to have the opportunity for free agency and stuff like that, and to be able to get your fair market value. Now, is it wrong for a player to seek money? What if you played? Would you be seeking to get a raise and stuff? No. There's a yes and a no. They can always say, no, I'm not paying that. Take a hike.
Right.
You know, that's the way I look at it, but it also gives guys in the minor league the stuff that it come on to. It gives guys that are stuck behind these superstars a chance to possibly move on to other teams. You know, and to be able to be a minor league free agent, because you never know when one of these guys in the minor league are going to blossom. You know?
Right.
Get it? The light goes on, you know, and that's what you're hoping happens. And sometimes you might not get an opportunity. You know, it's like, you know, I was with Atlanta. I was treading water a little bit, had a good arm, but it's all about the opportunity sometimes. You know, you get stuck a little bit and they want you to do one thing. You're trying to make it work out in the organization. You're trying to follow what they want to do. And I had to make a decision. This is about me. I told them I'm going to throw what the hell I want to throw. They're not going to dictate. This is my life now. You know, I'm not playing for a high school team or college or whatever. You know, it's about me.
It's your
you know, that I finally grew a set, and so instead of, you know, And I told him here's what I think, and I'm gonna do what I think now. I appreciate everything you've done, and that's when my career changed. I went that way instead of floundering, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean but where things changed, I mean, there's a lot of things that changed with the games. That right there is one of the huge things with social media and freaking all that crap to say to me, look at me, look what I did. Here, I'm taking a selfie while I'm running around the freaking bases. You know, every one of those guys need to be drilling the ribs the next time they come in the bat. You know, that's the way I played the game. So,
Lauren, you got a young baseball fan in the crowd?
We do, and I would like to start this off by saying she's looking for a positive answer only.
Positive answer only.
okay, we can arrange that. I got a smile already on my face.
What's your opinion of Cole Hamels and his showcase this Friday?
Oh, what's going on with that?
He's trying to come back.
Really?
Yes.
That's first. I'm all excited about that.
Down in Texas.
That's good news. I mean, because he was battling. Believe me, I've had my share. I'm trying to be positive here. I had my share of injuries, and I know, you know. And Cole's in a different place. Cole don't need no more money. You know, he's got plenty of that. This is about him, I think, going out on his terms.
Right.
And type thing. And I'm all about for that. And that's why I hung on as long as I could. Even though I didn't make it back where I needed to, I went out on my terms. And that's a positive thing. And you live your life better that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a great thing, you know, to do that. I mean, we need pitching. You know, so we need a fourth or fifth starter. You know,
Exactly.
So if he can do it, what a great place to finish where he started.
Right.
That'd be awesome, something like that. If he's got it, I hope he's got it. I just don't know how bad his injury was. I mean, hope he's completely healthy and can do it.
Another question?
That was a good question. I like that.
Hey, Tommy,
Yes, sir.
did you excel in any other sport growing up?
Basically, any other sports I played. Well, I grew up in North Carolina. I call it God's country. So you know where I come from. That back then we didn't have major sports. We didn't have MLB or NFL ball back then. We had ACC basketball. So I played basketball. I played like a forward. So I was a rebounder. I knew how to box guys out. I had pretty good size. I mean, as far as width, I knew how to play the game. So I loved basketball. I loved basketball. My mom and dad my mom was all county in basketball. My dad was a basketball player too. Played a little bit of baseball, and then I played football. I played all three major sports growing up until I started having issues like broken arms from football and rolling my ankles over too much in basketball, and it carried over into baseball because I knew baseball was probably my, I was good at it, and and I knew it might be a way for me to education, and my parents not having to pay for it because they, first of all, couldn't afford to, and if I didn't get a scholarship or something like that, I was going to have to go GI Bill because I grew up near Fort Bragg and in Jacksonville in that area, so I knew all about that stuff. So that gave me a reason to work as a kid. So I had to make a decision. So the last couple of years, I really concentrated on baseball. Yeah.
How about softball and being an outstanding third base coach in softball?
Oh.
There's a rumor floating around.
Yeah.
Somebody spreading a bad rumor in the room.
Bad rumor. I was a good third base coach. I can't, it was a pretty good ball game. We went like 16 innings. I can't remember how it ended, to tell you the truth. It was a good ball game.
So it was a good ball game.
It was a good ball game.
There you go. That's the answer we were looking for.
Yeah.
Trivia time?
Trivia? All right. Going back to his no-hitter, who was the catcher during his no-hitter?
Ooh, good one.
1991.
Darren Fletcher.
Nice.
There you go. Good
Very
job.
Good.
This table's on a roll.
They're not going to be able to make it
That
down
was
the
good.
steps.
Darren Dalton was the main catcher, but he didn't catch me that game. He was on the DL because that was when him and Lenny had been in that car wreck.
Right.
If y'all remember correctly. and he was coming back from that, but he was there with us on the bench. Lenny wasn't there, but he was. So, who would have known if he had been catching me? Would I have thrown it? I had a question last night asked to me.
Really?
Yeah. Who would have known? You don't know. The one pitch, it takes one pitch.
We're just one bleeder.
Oh yeah.
You know.
So we bring up Darren's name, and I know he's one of your guys.
One of my best guys. Yeah.
Is he? Would we classify him your favorite teammate?
I had a bunch of them. Me and Darren got tighter probably after we played.
Got you.
We got a lot tighter afterwards. And I tell you who had a big influence on me because I spent a lot of time with him off the field, on the road, and stuff like that was LA.
Okay.
LA was that year was a big, LA was 40 that year when I played with him. And I was 20, I turned 26 that year. So there was a 14-year gap. So I sort of looked up at him. He'd been in the big leagues for a long time. There's a lot wealth of knowledge you can tap into that guy. Yep. So we spent a lot of guys talking and having a couple of cervezas and talking just good baseball stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what, the plane rides we had to different places were huge. I got a chance to spend because I sit back with Larry and them in the back, and it was Larry, me, David West, and Harry DeKay. Spent a lot of time with Harry back there, and what a better man to talk to about the guys that he'd seen play, and all over the years, and the wealth of knowledge he had by watching, and really enjoyed and got real tight with Harry too. So it was that whole team, and not just that year, and that core group of guys, for the time I was over here in 90 through 95, my last year, we were all here. And it was a good core group with Crucky, Lenny. Mitch come a little bit later, but it was David Hollins and Crucky and Lenny and Dutch and me and Terry Mulholland. There for a long. The longest tenured guys right there. But Dutch was there. He was the main guy. He was the glue on that team. The buck stopped with him. I don't think Fugosi ever had to say something to the team as holding a team meeting. When Fugosi took over, because Dutch was the guy. So not saying that Lee Thomas didn't come back in the day. We called him Mad Dog, and if he got upset, he'd let everybody know. We called him a spread killer. He'd come in and everything went everywhere.
Lauren?
So thoughts on the All-Star game last night, specifically about Zach Wheeler only facing one batter?
Well, you don't know what's going on when he's scheduled a pitch coming off the break. Was it his side day? Was it that type of thing? There's a lot of factors that go in there.
They thought he was going to start.
There's a lot of moving parts right there as far as that's concerned. Why'd he throw 3 pitches and push a guy out?
Right.
Pretty awesome job right there.
Yes, it is.
And they just needed more offense.
Yes.
All right, we got some people to thank, but first, did everybody get raffle tickets? You get 2 free ones, so if you didn't, go over and see Sue. You can buy extras at $1 a piece if you'd like. We will draw the raffles at the end of the show around 7:30ish. So if you guys stick around, you got to be in the house to win. And my man Casey's walking around with a Philly Fanatic autographed jersey. Raffle tickets are $10, correct? Got it. Got that one right. So if you guys are interested, I believe they're also going to draw that winner tonight. So we got a lot going on. But I want to thank, again, Dagwood's, City Distilling, State Farm, Abramson and Dennenberg, and, of course, Carl's Cards. We all know who they are. And if you guys are floating around Delco on Saturday, Tommy's going to be there too. So Carl's Cards on Saturday from noon to 2. You can catch him there, take photos. He does an awesome job signing autographs. He loves putting the no-hitter inscription on stuff. So come on out and support the store, and gosh knows whatever else is going on. We got free T-shirts we're giving away at the end of tonight. John, did I miss anything?
No, you got it pretty much covered.
Did I cover it all?
Yeah.
You got another trivia question? Because we got these bags to give away.
I know we do.
We have Charlie Manuel in August 14th. That is correct. That's no rumor. That's fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Have your hitting questions ready for that one. He loves to talk hitting, guys.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so, yep. Plan your summer accordingly. Johnny?
All right, so in 1993, it was a big year for Tommy.
Yeah.
He finished 6th in the Cy Young Award voting. He had his career high in wins that year. How many wins did he have in 93?
Got it, hold on.
16.
Correct.
I didn't say it.
Congratulations.
Correct. Should have had 20 something, but
You got a
Pull
ringer?
her growing.
You got a ringer in the house?
he's a ringer, all right.
Yeah, you just
All right,
yelled it
who
out.
else had 16 wins on that team that year?
No, he's not too quick on this one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do, 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 do.
5 stars.
We got a hand up. There you go. There you go. Good job.
Who were the 5
That's
stars?
a different table, right? That's a table in front. That's Gino's table. There you go. Very nice.
Tommy's helping me out here with the trivia since I'm not doing so good. He wants to know, who are the 5 starters from that year? You just got 2 of them right there.
You got 2 of them.
Danny Jackson,
Yeah.
Ben Rivera,
Yes, sir.
Potters.
And
Oh.
and
You,
yeah,
Showing,
yeah.
John
And
Mahal.
There you
that's
go.
right. There you
There you
go.
go. Buy that man a beer.
That's very well done there. A lot of people don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, the
People they have trouble with Ben for some reason.
Yep.
And he was the biggest one out of all of us.
Yep.
They
6,
have
7.
they have that poster, right?
Yeah, the 5 horses.
Well, that's a good poster too.
Yeah.
Who came up with that idea with the?
That was something for a grocery store or something.
Yeah, it was for Acme.
Yeah, for Acme.
Yep.
And they had us dressed up, with the cowboy stuff, and it was pretty cool. That's one of the things I've always kept. I got it in my basement.
Mm-hmm. So who came up with the pump me up for Danny with ripping his jersey off? Or was he just that crazy
Danny's
of a-
left-handed, right?
Right, he's a little
Okay, he thinks with this side, yeah. So Danny wasn't afraid, man.
No.
So that was just him. That come from somewhere down in the bowels, of his inner self.
Mm-hmm.
We had some good times with Danny.
Right.
Yeah, he was good things. The whole pitching staff we had between me and Danny and me and Danny especially spent time together with LA and David West. You have your little cliques, but
Right.
we all spent time together doing other things too. But
Mhm.
I spent a lot of time with those guys. We'd go to each other's room and the hotel room we were in. Maybe come back late at night. They might order some. It was one night we went out to Cincinnati. We were in Cincinnati after the ball game. We walked across the river to a couple bars over there. So it's like 2:00 in the morning. Everything starts shutting down. We all jump in a cab, right? Me, LA. I think Schilling might have been with us that night. Me, LA, Schilling, David West, and it was us 4. I think there were $175 worth of freaking Burger King bought. They just started whoever I think. It was on that side, so it was LA and David West ordered whatever. I think everything on the menu like 4 times. Yeah. that's some of the stuff and then we'd go back to the hotel and sit there and spend time together. You know?
Right.
So
Now, I heard this from, was David West really the most wild of the bunch?
what do you mean wild?
Just
Clarify yourself.
just more one of the more crazier guys. Like he seems watching them. You wouldn't expect it, but he seemed to be more of a partier.
David knew how to have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
He knew how to have fun, and y'all say prayers for him.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody heard. He went through brain surgery
Yes.
here about a month ago, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's glioblastoma, like I'm pretty sure like Dutch had. So say prayers. He's doing real good.
Yes.
I'm hoping you find it before it gets to the point where you can't do nothing. But say prayers.
Yes. Exactly.
But
Laurie?
So we have somebody who's a friend of the store, friend of the show. His daughter, their team, the Lady Brawlers, are starting for nationals tomorrow. And they were hoping you could give them a shout out or a piece of advice.
Lady Brawlers.
Yeah, it's a softball team.
softball team, man. And they're playing for what now?
Nationals.
That's awesome. Have fun.
Down in
Enjoy.
Virginia.
I mean, the hardest part's getting there. Go out and play the game. Have fun.
Exactly.
It's just like us playing in the. You get a chance to play in the postseason. We were That was the last year before the wild card came. So you had to win. You had to win to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest thing it was people ask me what I'm most proud of, the no hitter or whatever, and I was like, John, no, I mean that '93 year to get to the postseason, that 162 game schedule you had to play
Clinching
to get there, to get the opportunity to play in the postseason. Now they got the wild card, the other wild card, and the friggin' and all kind of things. But I get that.
And the free pass
But
to get into the playoffs.
Then it was all that. It was one thing. I mean, you got there. Now it's all about enjoying it, man. You enjoying. The pressure's off. You're there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way you have to sort of tell yourself. Go out and have fun. Let it happen.
Exactly.
Anyone else in the room? We got a lot of questions from Facebook. Anybody else here?
Got one.
Just curious, who's the hardest
I was
batter you've ever faced in your career? Would be
Hardest.
the hardest batter to get out for you?
God. I tell this to everybody. I faced Benz. I faced Tony Gwynn and Bonds. Yeah. Bonds, he hit 200 off of his career. First 7 times at bat, Gwynn, I got 2 strikes on him and threw pitches, and he got 7 hits off of him. First 7 at bats. I was like, Dutch looked at me. He's like, I don't know how he's hitting those pitches. Yeah. He said, what you want to do? I said, what haven't we done? I said, we haven't went right down the middle with it. Let's go right down the middle.
Yeah.
Next 8 times, 9 times I faced him, ground ball second, ground ball short, ground ball second, ground ball short. It's like he didn't know what to do with it, But the toughest guy who seemed to have my number, who saw me good, we played with Bonds in Pittsburgh. I called him Spanky. They called him Spanky. Mike LaValliere, the catcher. Little Spanky. He looked like Spanky from the Little Rascals. That's why they called him that. For some reason he told me one day, I said, man, you're killing me, because every time I throw one there, you hit it like 150 by me, right by my head. He's like little left-handed hitting catcher. Did try to do too much to it, but he hit. He says, man, I see you. He said, it looks like a soft, it looks this big coming in there to me. He says, but the other guys coming in, the dugout before, he said, they can't see you. They're not picking me. He said, I just saw you. It's the weird thing about the game. You see some guys you don't as a hitter. It's better, man. The game's a little finicky that way. The game slowed down for him to see me. He had that confidence, and then sometimes he might have faced somebody else, and then it sped up, and it looked like an aspirin coming in there.
Mm.
Like Doc Gooden used to throw back in the day, because I saw that one, man. It was an aspirin.
So we had a Cole Hamels question a little earlier in the show, and we got another 08 guy checking in tonight on us. How about that, Matt Stairs?
Matt Stairs.
Oh, Matty,
Matt Stairs
man.
checking in,
How you doing, man?
giving everybody a big hello. He's a big fan of the show. He's been on several times. And
Oh, Matty.
yeah, Matt Stairs talking about hitting one into the night.
Yeah.
Oh,
We all remember it, right?
it's
Say good night, Billy.
out of sight. He could do it too. He could, as they say, drop head. We used to say he could drop head, man.
What's up, bro?
Hey, man.
Lauren, what do you got?
All right, so the gentleman up front there in the red shirt, big fan. He's upset that Tommy Greene's not in the wall of fame for the Phillies.
I didn't play long enough, man. I didn't play long enough. I was hurt. I appreciate it.
Yep.
That's my boy Chris over here. He's a good fan. He's a good.
Well, how about we start this fan's view and we can start our own wall of fame.
Yeah,
How about it,
this,
Bill Mattis?
this is a good wall in here.
There you go.
Right? Yeah. We got a legend at the bar, folks. Bill Mattis. Anybody knows him from back in the day, dollar bills. He had the best baseball card store back in the 80s. Love that guy. He's the reason Tommy's here tonight, by
Yes,
the
he
way.
is. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it, man.
He's
He's
brought
awesome.
many of athlete and guys that we've become friends with. So I thank Tommy, but I also thank Bill Mattis. So give it up for Bill Mattis. Lauren?
I got another question. This one doesn't have to be positive necessarily.
Right. So I wanted to know, what are your thoughts? Should Kurt Schilling be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, good question. Oh, man.
Do you need a towel?
They took her a couple of drinks to throw that question out.
There you go. There's the towel over the head.
To me, he's right on that cusp, because, I mean, he relieved some too. Yeah, I mean, but his postseason record, here's the big thing with me. His postseason record was unbelievable, What a big game pitcher he was. Okay. Now, you heard me say something earlier about back in 93 was the last year that you had to win your division straight out to get a chance to go to the postseason. Now all the wild card stuff comes into effect. Guys now get more opportunity to pitch in the postseason. I mean, you have to take advantage of that. To get he pitched more game and be able to get those type of numbers to do that. You're never going to see another 300 game winner, I don't think.
No.
Not, and that was the criteria sort of. You had to be real close to it to be in the Hall of Fame, unless you did something other like, had 250 wins and how many saved, and you were saved too, or some guys got that type of thing. Like Eckersley started and then he saved, that type of thing. Smoltz has done that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's some criteria. He's right there. And the other thing, I love Pete Rose. He should be in the Hall of Fame in my book.
Right.
And why he's not there is because of this.
Right.
Is because of this. And Schilling is
The same.
right on that same boat. So but to answer your question, I'm rooting for him to get in. He was my team. I got along with Kurt fine. Wish he would shut up and play. Yeah. But see, and that was one of the, I heard this not too long ago. It was somebody one of the big people for the Phillies about Schilling. He was a horse on the mound. The other 4 days he was a horse's ass.
Right.
That's the way it was put.
Exactly.
So, but I get along with everybody, and it's hard for me to fathom. I told him, it's like some guy said, "Shut up, man." It's like when he used to put the towel over his head. That 93, I could have killed him. He did it. I looked at him. I said, "Carry your ass back upstairs."
Mm-hmm.
The camera's on you, and that maybe like that. I don't know.
Right.
Some people need it. Some people seek it. I don't know. So, I don't. I try to. You play the game the right way. You live the right way. You treat people the right way. Yeah.
Lauren's got a couple more questions.
Matt Stairs would like to know what the best golf course is you played on.
Best. I don't know. I played.
Don't be bashful.
I'm trying to remember the names of them now. Balderstraw, I think, was pretty good. Wingfoot was pretty good. And the one that I guess is a little bit nearer to me a little bit was Jack's place in Muirfield in Columbus, Ohio. So that was a beautiful course. I mean, even Muirfield Village and stuff, that was just because it's Jack's place. Yeah. It was pretty, I played some pretty good ones. Never been to Pebble. Never played Pine Valley. Any of your people who know somebody I'd love to play.
Yeah.
I'd love to get them.
Pine Valley.
Yeah.
You've just lowered your standards.
No, that's like the number one ever. Yeah. So, I'll lose my 15 balls on that course just to go walk it, go play it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're winding down. We go for an hour and we're almost there. So, last minute questions in the room. Anybody? Lauren, you got another one?
Marion's pretty good, by the way.
Last question. What are your thoughts on Ohtani?
Wow. Wow. That's pretty impressive with that guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's a big man, He's an
Yeah.
athlete. He's an athlete. He's like, to be able to hit and he can run too. He can play out where you want him to play out there, and and he can pitch. I had that question asked to me the other night. What do you think they're going to do with him ultimately? Yeah. It all depends on how that arm holds up, and that bat's going to play. So he's going to hit. He can hit. He's going to hit a lot longer. I think he's going to pitch. Yeah, I think. That's just me.
One last question up here. I asked this to a lot of the local athletes that have stayed in the Philly area and now live here. What is the drive? What is about Philly that makes it home to you guys? I ask this question all the time. Somebody else just asked it on Facebook, and I had it on my list. But what is it? Because you could have gone back home, obviously.
Well, I did. I'll explain. A little bit real quick. What got me back up here was my wife. Now, her name's Wendy Darling. She still kept that name. So Wendy Peter Pan. That's my wife. I met her my first spring training with the Braves down in West Palm Beach. She was on spring break. We got reconnected with 2010. I lost my first wife to cancer. She run into Darren Dalton at a function sort of like this it was a place up there where we live at. And here's ladies that get a kick out of this. What woman on the planet, what woman on the planet goes up to Darren Dalton and asks about another dude? That's what she did. She asked about me because, we got together my first spring training, her first spring break. She had 12 of her science girls stayed in the same hotel they housed us in the minor leagues. So we had a great time and remembered her like it was yesterday when we got – and Darren gave her my number. And we don't give out numbers. So there was something there. It was spade, something. That's why I got here. But that's how I come up here. But I always miss – I never grew up around, you heard me say earlier, big sports. Didn't have a big league baseball team or whatever in my small town. When I played here, the fans is what drove things. Their passion, watching how they cared for the Eagles, the Flyers, and the Phillies. The knowledge, how they hold you accountable, for things. That's what I miss. That's what I grew up. The fans is what, when I come over is what I miss. That's what I loved it because y'all got a passion for, for the games, for each sport and your knowledge for the sport is, and to hold the guys accountable. They don't want to hear it. A lot of them are, they put themselves up here. I grew up in North Carolina. I cropped tobacco when I was young. I grew up working for it, and there's nothing wrong with being, you're going to pay things. If we're not doing a good job, if I'm not doing a good job, do better. You don't like the boos, stop them.
Right.
Stop them, do better. But also they're doing it because, but what I did learn from the fans was if you're giving the effort and you're hustling, you're doing everything, you're not crying, poor woe is me, and you're doing what you're doing and you're showing respect to the fans too, they'll love you. They'll love you because you're a stand-up guy and you go about your business the right way. And that's the blue collar ethic is a good thing to go
Yeah,
back.
that's what you go by here.
That's right. So,
All right, folks, let's give it up for Tommy Greene.
Yeah.
Please. Thanks for coming out.
I enjoyed it, brother.
Appreciate the baseball talk.
Life
minute,
talk.
Anybody, last minute question, comment?
Yes, sir.
What would you do with the trade deadline?
What now?
What would you do with the trade deadline?
Holy crap. Well, I mean, here's what it is. We're 3.5 out, right? Our second baseman and shortstop had been missing for a lot of the first half. The third baseman hadn't really hit like he showed last year. And the first baseman is hitting some home runs, but he goes through his thing. The center fielder hadn't really, and Bryce has been out for an extended period of time. We're 3.5 out.
Right.
And the fourth and fifth starter hadn't really, if they add a piece or two and find something that could solidify in the bullpen, hopefully those guys, they showed a little bit of life here lately. They can win. I think I would, if they got an opportunity to get somebody, I would, if you want to try to win, that's what you got to do.
Exactly.
But you got Reese, you're going to have to move somebody, I mean, they got the offense is doing okay right now. They're scoring runs. I mean, they got to catch it, man. I mean, they're having trouble defensive. I mean, they're scoring runs, but they're giving some back too. I mean, so there's some things that need to be rectified. They just need to play better defensively. Keep working and do it. Hopefully, and if they can get a bullpen piece that can help solidify that at the end, and maybe if the starters have got to do the job. Hopefully, Nola wakes up and I mean, it's not that. I mean, he's got to be consistent with his fastball. That's where he struggled at this year a little bit. It's cost him, So.
All right, last call to take care of Sam and Natalie back there at the bar. I see they've been working, keeping you guys well hydrated and fed, and we appreciate all that they've done and all of our sponsors out here tonight. City Distilling, what's their address, John?
They are on State Road. I think it's 7800 State Road.
So they're not
State Road in Continental.
They're not too far from here, and
Right.
there's talk that we may be doing a show there for their grand opening. So that might be a good drinking party. The way it sounds. So I can count on all you guys to be there. Ginny, I can count on you. I know that. There you go. But I want to thank you guys, and we're back August 18th with Milt Thompson. Milt Thompson. Mr. O'Brien, hitting coach. He's an ambassador to the Phillies today. Another guy, that stayed in the area and he's local and he's accessible and he loves the fans. So he'll be here August 18th with us, and we're gonna sign off of Facebook right now. But you guys are more than welcome to stick around. We're gonna draw some raffle prizes. We're gonna give away some free T-shirts. I'm gonna have a beer or two with Tommy. So I want to thank everybody, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
And one last thing. We have last call for the raffles for the Fanatic jersey. So make sure you get it in there before.
Make sure
you
it's
miss
washed
out.
first.
Absolutely.
That's a smelly thing, man.
Not this one. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're signing off.